Hey, what's up, you guys? BDF44 coming at you with another video. Alright, so usually I make content when I'm cooking food, but right now, we're eating. But this Udoka conversation, of course, continues, and I just look at the situation, and I'm saying to myself, it seems like the man is taking the brunt of the Celtics organization's wrath in such a harsh way. I think the reason is because they don't want to fire him. He's too good of a coach to fire. It creates more problems when you do that. Because now you're letting one of the best coaches in the league leave your organization because of something that took place within your organization. And what's going to happen, he's going to immediately get another job, and you're going to see him start the season as the coach of another team. This isn't going to deter other coaches, other teams from hiring him at all. And the Celtics know that. So rather than let him leave their organization, they'll do something drastic like this. That's what I feel is going on here. Because in any other situation, if he wasn't as good of a coach as he is, they'd have fired him. You get fired for stuff like this. And a year-long suspension, when was the last time you seen somebody get a year-long suspension for something like this? You get fired for this. This is how it goes. But they know. They know that if they fire him, not only do they lose him, but he doesn't get reprimanded at all. They don't get to see him punished for what it is that they ultimately want to punish him for. So this whole thing it reeks so bad with the presence of the Robert Sarver situation. I don't like it for any of the Celtics players as well. They are the ones that ultimately have to suffer for this. Obviously, they have an interim coach coming in. I hear he's a really good coach. I don't know of him, so I can't say. But what I can say is, under these circumstances, this is bad for him too. Why? Because it's not an actual coaching job, but he gets to be a head coach for an entire season last minute. You know how difficult it must be to prepare for an NBA season, but when you're not a head coach at all, and then you're thrown into that situation a week before the preseason starts. Celtics didn't think this out at all. They're hurting themselves more than they're helping themselves. And it would probably be best if they just fire the coach and allow him to walk if this is such a big deal. And if it's not, then fine him and bring him back so you can have a regular NBA season. Don't let your team suffer for his mistake. And I understand that's part of making someone be punished. I get that. It's some weird situation in fantasy football, believe it or not, that kind of aligns with this thinking. They're making it so that a suspended player from the Houston Texans, you're not able to put him in the IR area. The injured reserve box, you're not able to. If you own that player, he's hurting your team. And that's what they are doing to him. They're making it so that in the smallest minuscule ways, he is inconveniencing the people that support him. That's what they're doing. And this is the same thing. Now, because of Udoka's decision, they're allowing his decision to hurt their organization. So now people get to look at Udoka like, so a guy like Jason Tatum can look at him and say, man, you messed up my season. No, Udoka didn't mess up your season. The Celtics messed up your season by handling the situation in that way. All they had to do was take money from the man, suspend him for a couple weeks and call it, or fire him and let him go and call it. But they want to put you all through all of this so that he can be punished. And see, that's why I look at these situations. It's all about cracking the whip. It's all about cracking the whip, man. And I don't like it because of what it represents to myself personally and how that whole thing feels. But even more so, I just think that it's people, as I said, appealing to others, need to punish others. Appeal to this era that we're in to cancel people and to find a way to maneuver around the sensitivity levels of this era. And so I don't think if this was 10 years ago, Udoka would be facing this type of ridiculousness. We wouldn't be getting the information in this way. They're treating it like he did something illegal. They're treating it as if he did something that would affect the morale of the team. And while it could, if she comes back and decides to sue people, and that is a very murky situation. Shannon Sharp brought up a good point this morning that brought something new to the table, so I might as well bring it up since I have it in my mind. Maybe the Celtics did jump in for this because something legal could have been looming behind the scenes. For all we know, she may have came to the team and said, look, something, 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 this didn't go well, and now I'm ready to take some type of action. In that case, it would make sense for the team to do it exactly the way that they've been doing it. So I get that angle, but even so, it comes down to how much are you hurting yourself for what it is that you're trying to accomplish while trying to handle this situation in the way that you're handling. If you're gonna, it's just like any other situation. Okay, we're gonna fix this problem, but we're gonna create 2 more. No, that's not good math, friends. So all of this just looks extremes of punishment to find balance for the Sarver situation. That's what it feels like. Somebody is just trying to make it a point to make the players and the coaches go through what the owners now are faced with. And the thing about it is the owners are faced with something very uncomfortable because they were asked by a player, Draymond Green, to vote one of their very own out. And those are the type of things where it becomes it's like a my side versus your side thing. I don't have to hurt you. I just want to hurt somebody on your side. It feels like that kind of thing, man. It feels like that kind of thing that's going on here. And there's the beginning stages of the war that is the collective bargaining problems, also known as negotiations that are about to take place. This is like the beginning stages of what is going to be a very ugly war. That's what it feels like to me. So the Celtics are not helping themselves. They're not. Their team is going to suffer for this. And it's unacceptable. Look, I don't know. I don't assume to take certain steps based on my outrage. That players should take steps because of my outrage. But if I were a Celtic player, I would be assessing whether or not I want to be there this season. Especially if I'm one of the stars. Like this is not what I signed up for. It's not what I signed up for. Ime Udoka is our coach. We have a championship caliber team. We are trying to win it. We just got to the finals, a couple of games away from our dreams. And you're trying to tell me you're taking the brain trust away from that situation because he did something stupid? Fine him. That's all. Because the punishment needs to go to him. It should not trickle down to the team. That's what I'm saying to you. If he has to be fired, then fire him. But once it starts the nonsense starts to blow back on the squad, then people are getting hit who don't deserve to be hit. Then you got, you know what I'm saying? People, careers are affected by these type of decisions. Jason Tatum, is the system going to be the same for him? Jaylen Brown, is his money going to be the same? What's about the role players? Are they going to, do they have the faith of this coach? These are the things like, you're creating an entirely new problem for yourselves, Boston. In a time where no one's asking you to do that. No one. You find that man, his money, and take it out of him that way. And look, maybe he doesn't agree with that. I'm not sitting up here saying that I'm doing something that's supposed to be favorable to him. He probably would rather sit out for a year than have his pockets touched, but that ain't the point. It's about who is supposed to be punished. Who's supposed to be punished here? Because the people who are going to take the worst of it, in my humble opinion, is the players. They're the ones that are going to have to suffer this nonsense. They're the ones that are going out there for certain not going to be the team that they expect them to be, but still expected to run around just as hard. Nah, it's unnecessary. There's nothing wrong with Ime Udoka in terms of his health. He's able-bodied. He should be reprimanded and then sent back out there to do the job that he was hired to do. And if you guys are not willing to reprimand him in a way that helps your team, well, you need to reassess what it is that you're doing as a team. Like, you're the Celtics. So having a certain level of decorum and respect for your brand and all of that stuff, hey, I get it. I'm a Laker fan, so I get that. But it's all in how you handle human beings. It's all in how you handle human beings. If a person makes a mistake and you see them as valuable and you don't want to punish them in a way that hurts you, then you got to see that whole path through. If you see firing him as something that hurts you, well, you need to also see sitting him for a season as something that hurts you as well. This is stupid. See, if the owner is gone for a year, you suspend an owner for a year, it doesn't affect the team. Nobody's going to miss seeing Robert Sarver run around doing whatever it was that he was doing. But if you take a coach away from the game, you're affecting every single thing that happens during the season afterward. And while firing a bad coach can be a good thing, suspending a great coach is a bad thing. As simple as that. And it is about him being a great coach. And some may say a black coach too, in how they're trying to handle him. Which doesn't feel comfortable as a black man. I'd be lying if I said this felt like it was great, on the up and up. It doesn't feel that way at all. It doesn't. But I can just go by what I'm feeling, not necessarily what's going on. It just doesn't feel good to see this. And look, at the end of the day, we will always put the onus back on Ime Udoka for compromising his professionalism. That's what he did. He compromised his professionalism, and she did as well. And that's it. Everything else has to do with the personal aspect of it. We don't know nothing about their family. But what we do know is, professionally, you can't allow yourself to give your enemies this much ammo. We talk about this a lot. Ime Udoka gave every enemy he has in the NBA ammunition to throw back at him. And we just got to start making moves in life that don't allow us to undo the hard work that we put in. If it's going to be thinking with the right mind and not the wrong one, that's the way it has to be. If you find yourself falling in love and you have to make certain sacrifices, then you make those sacrifices. She can't be working with you if you have that type of entanglement, then you got to resign from the Celtics. Or she got to resign from the situation. You know what you need to do. And this is one of those situations where it's like, at the end of the day, if they have a letter of the law in their rule book and you break that law and they engage in doing to you what it said they were going to do, people like myself can get upset about it. But you saw the rule in the book. I didn't. Because if I would have saw the rule in the book, then I would have known not to do what it is that you did. And we wouldn't be in a situation. Because I'd have guarded against that if I was thinking clearly. So that's his accountability is most important. Not for cheating, because we don't know he cheated, but for putting himself in this position to give all this damn ammunition to all his enemies. So here we are. Well, Udoka, it has not been announced officially, I don't believe. But it's going to be a year. We're pretty much sure of it by now. So I don't know what else to say. I listened to Stephen A. Smith's point. He said he felt like details were bad in the situation. I think we actually came to the same conclusion. I was just saying the opposite thing. I felt like, if you're going to give me information, give me everything. If you're not going to give me everything, give me nothing. And essentially what he was saying was, give me nothing. I agree with that. This is the first time I listened to every word that Stephen A. Smith said and could not take nothing from it that I didn't agree with when he sat down and spoke on Ime Udoka's situation. I just agreed with his entire sentiment. I think at the end of the day, punishing Ime Udoka for what it is that he's done is hurting the Celtics. And you're hurting the Celtics in a way that doesn't need to be done, in a time where it's probably best that you don't. So this should have been done in-house. This should have been handled in-house, except for the presence, of course, of her suing, which still could have been handled in a much more delicate manner, in my opinion. Even if the presence of all this were happening, there should have been a more graceful way for all of this to have fallen out. And most importantly, a whole year suspension? In this situation, I asked myself, if she is suing, are you punishing him for the fact that he brought that to you? And if that's the case, a 1 year suspension is minimal. You should fire him for putting that type of environment around your organization, or bringing that type of nonsense to your organization. So, no matter how I look at this, the Celtics aren't handling it in the way that I would want them to if I were a fan. That's the best way I can put it. So, take that for what it's worth, you guys. That's pretty much what I got to say. I want to hear what Adam Silver has to say. That's who I want to hear from. But it is what it is, man. My name is BDL44. Thank you all for watching.